Hello everybody and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to talk about my opinion of bodybuilding. It's a very popular sport or a very popular industry, and there's tons of people online, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, I guess. I don't really know, I don't use Facebook. But there's tons of channels that are showcasing these unbelievably ripped, shredded, huge, muscular physiques. And I just kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit because it is important to me. I think that body image problems may stem from seeing all those people, and I'd like to try to address that the best I can because, like I said, it is important. Body image is important. Hopefully people don't have too many problems with that, but I feel like with bodybuilding there are a lot of problems. So yeah, I thought I'd switch things up because I usually just sit on a bed and talk to you guys on the camera with a blank wall as the background, and it's kind of boring, and this may be kind of boring still, but I'm on the exercise bike just to switch things up a little bit, give a little bit more energy. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start talking about bodybuilding, I guess. So I think it's worth mentioning that I am myself a fan of bodybuilding, and the main problem with it I find is ignorance, and ignorance is the cause of a lot of problems. So I don't blame bodybuilding that much. I blame the people that don't take the time to do the research and don't take the time to really understand what's at play with certain athletes. So one of the main problems I have with bodybuilding is just the rampant use of drugs. It's kind of sad to see because bodybuilding is supposed to be about showing this beautiful human physique, what can be naturally attainable back in the day with just eating right and doing regular exercise. And so it's nice, it pushes the limits of the body and it shows this beautiful physique that you can attain if you treat your body well. But nowadays, in order to be successful as a bodybuilder, the fact of the matter is that you have to be taking drugs because there's a certain limit to how much muscle you can build on your frame. And these drugs help to push those genetic limits and just get to that next level of muscle building extreme. And it is really kind of sad. There are a lot of negative side effects to taking these drugs. And I just wish people would do the research and know a little bit more. Again, I don't blame necessarily the bodybuilders or the people for not coming clean and saying that they're on a certain drug, because some of these drugs are just straight up illegal. You can't take them legally, so obviously they have to cover themselves. They can't just come out into the open and say that they're taking something because they'll risk, whatever lawful consequences are involved. But I do think that it's a shame that people look at these physiques online and they watch bodybuilding events or they see a post on Instagram and they think that the athlete is natural when in fact they're not. That's the problem that I think is very much associated with body image, because people look at these photos and they think, oh, if I get serious about weightlifting, if I get serious about my nutrition, if I work hard for 5 years, maybe even 10, I'll be able to look like this guy. And sometimes it's simply not the case. They're enhanced athletes. There's a certain limit to what you can do as a natural athlete. And so if they do work hard for 5-10 years and they do get kind of big and they see results, but they don't get to that level, people get disappointed. And, like I said, 5-10 years, maybe they get to that level and they'll think, oh, well, now to get to the next level, I have to take steroids. Sometimes they won't even get that far because people will just give up. They work at the gym for 6 months and they don't see results that they think are attainable naturally. They don't see themselves looking like the people that they see on these social media posts, and they get discouraged, obviously, because they want fast results. And the fact of the matter is, this isn't, a quick fix. If you want to build muscle, it's over time. You can't do a complete body transformation in such a short amount of time because it's just not the way it works. If you do want to get big quick, then you do have to resort to the drug use. And that's what I don't like about the sport, because it's just not healthy. And my arm's getting kind of tired, so I had to switch. But I just don't like the fact that it's normalized in bodybuilding to take drugs now. And it really is something that bodybuilders have to do in order to compete on the biggest stages. And I think that's just really unfortunate, and it sets a bad example for other people. So yeah, while on this topic, I'd like to say that obviously my genetics are going to be different than other people's. And I kind of said that quickly, didn't mean for it to be a wrap. But you and I are not going to look the same at the same body weight. I'm 6'1", 180-ish pounds, and it just depends on your muscle mass and your fat. It really all depends. I was 180 pounds once with more fat and less muscle, and I look completely different than I do now. And so obviously you're not going to look exactly like somebody else. You are your own person. And to think that you're going to look exactly like someone else is kind of silly, because no matter what you do, your genetics are different from theirs. So it really doesn't make sense to compare yourself much to other people, because we're all different. We're all unique. And obviously it's good to set goals. You know, if you see someone else, you could be like, oh, I want to be that big, or I kind of want to look like that. But another problem, going back to the, steroid use and stuff, is that sometimes it's just not feasible. You can't reach a certain physique naturally. And then people fall into that trap where, after training, they haven't seen the results that this person has. And it could be genetics, but if they are on performance enhancing drugs, then it's not possible for you to attain that physique naturally. And so then you're like, oh, well, I need that PED to hit the next step or something like that. And that's where you go down the deep dark rabbit hole of drug use and stuff like that, because once you start using it, you'll be like, oh, I'm bigger, but now I want to be even bigger, and then you'll use even more, and just your health declines drastically, and it's just a shame, honestly. I'd like to make this clear. Bodybuilding isn't all bad. There are definitely great parts about it, and I, like I said before, am a fan of bodybuilding. It's cool to see people push their physique to a certain limit, and it's just unnatural, but it's also kind of freakish. It's kind of cool to see the superhero type physiques that they bring to the stage. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that, it pushes me and drives me to, get bigger, get stronger, be more fit. And another thing that I'd like to commend every bodybuilder for is their work ethic. Right now I'm on the exercise bike, and because it was raining earlier, and I try to walk 5 miles a day, but if I can't, I do the exercise bike. But anyway, back to the bodybuilder thing, they know how to work hard. They do this cardio. They eat right, they lift weights, they are disciplined. And in fact, I'd probably argue that they're some of the most disciplined and hardworking people in any industry. 99% of people don't work as hard as bodybuilders. So I commend every bodybuilder for working hard, because it does take hard work and dedication and discipline for them to succeed. Even if they're not winning competitions, they're still dieting and exercising and just being the best version of themselves that they can be, so that when it does come to competition time, they can display the best version of themselves possible. And that takes weeks, months, sometimes even years of hard work to do. If you're competing for like the Mr. Olympia, one of the biggest stages in bodybuilding, it's going to take years, probably even a decade or so, to get to the point where you want to be, And obviously they take performance enhancing drugs and stuff, which I disagree with. I don't think that's great. But that doesn't take away from the fact that they're working very hard. You can take all the drugs you want, but if you just sit on the couch, you're not going to do anything with them. You still have to work hard. They still have to worry about what they're eating. They still have to worry about their training and their cardio. So if anything, I'd say that drug use probably pushes them even harder, because they want to get the most out of their drug use as possible. They probably know the risks associated with their health from taking these drugs, so they want to at least make it worth it. So that's what I commend. Bodybuilders work hard. They are some of the hardest working people out there, and it really is inspiring to see bodybuilders, just giving it their all the time to reach their goals. And the reason right now I'm on my exercise bike is because I know that it takes hard work to reach the goals that I want to reach. It's raining outside, I can't walk, so I'm going to bike instead. And yes, I could just take the day off if it was raining, but I don't want to do that, because I have goals that I've set, and I want to be at a certain place in a few months. And if I take time off, then I'm not going to reach it as quickly. When I'm on this exercise bike, usually I have my earbuds in and I'm watching YouTube videos, motivational, bodybuilding videos. Sometimes I watch, other fitness YouTubers, and it's just good to see people working hard, because it really does give me motivation to work hard myself. I want to be the best version of myself, and to see other people also wanting that and pursuing that is motivating. So yeah, this is my exercise bike. I'm about to do an hour's worth in 2 seconds here. Yeah, I got a pretty steady pace. So yeah, thanks for bearing with me. I know I'm out of breath a little, building up a sweat, but I wanted to switch things up a little bit, because I always just sit down on a bed and talk to you guys in front of the camera with just a boring wall behind me. So yeah, that's my take on bodybuilding. I am a fan. I'm not a fan of, drugs and stuff that they use, but it is what it is. I'm not going to tell people to do it or to not do it. Just do whatever you think it takes to reach the goals that you want to reach. As always, thank you for the support. Hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. I'll see you guys in the next video.